Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can I welcome you to today's Transport Data Initiative meeting? A great pleasure to welcome you here today. I'm Walter Tuttleby, your host for the day. Indeed, I think it's the 7th of these meetings now that we've held, although the first one up here in Leeds. We've toured the country from Edinburgh down to, not sure how far south we've gone. Don't think we've gone further south than London. Welcome to today's event. We've got some interesting things today for you. 24 months into the journey, we've probably had representatives from authorities. This was actually taken from the last one of these, so it's probably more than that by now in terms of population of the UK served by the authorities who've been and are involved with the Transport Data Initiative. So it's great to be here and to see some new faces. I'd like to just find out who we do have here today. So if you're from a transport authority, can you raise your hand high like this? Not half high, but really high. Okay, so that's, yeah, that kind of number. Companies, okay, so a good representation of companies. Government organisations, I suppose I'd include things like Highways England, DFT, anything else? Yeah. Who have I missed out? Consultants, anything else? Anyone who's not raised their hands yet, put your hand up. Okay, I covered you all, good. So we've got a fair idea of what we've got here today. For how many of you this is the first Transport Data Initiative meeting you've attended? Okay, that must be getting on for 40% of the people here. So I included some slides intending to sort of skip over them, but I'll maybe spend a few moments. I mean, this is what the Transport Data Initiative is about and why it was conceived and what it is trying to do. We are trying to help transport authorities use transport data to improve operational delivery and cost efficiency. That is, I guess, one of the bottom lines for us. We're trying to give transport authorities a voice, an opportunity to move out of just working in isolation, but to develop a collective voice and to share their issues, to find solutions, share knowledge, best practice, to build a community. So that's really the three, I would say, probably the three foundations that the Transport Data Initiative was set up to address. Led by transport authorities, we want to realise substantial, realisable benefits, actually make those happen with the promise and goal of transport data. And I think we've really been hearing much more about this over the last, I'd say even just 2 years. These issues of service delivery and the cost benefit issues. They are things that research has been happening within things like the Transport Systems Catapult, Department for Transport, their recent data discovery project and so on, which we'll hear a little bit more about today. These are the things that are there as promise and the goal. We want to try and accelerate that because we need it as a country and indeed beyond the country. One of the other big things that's been happening over the same sort of period that the Transport Data Initiative has been going has been a movement in the whole area of connected and autonomous vehicles. It's probably, 2-3 years now ago, the DFT and BEIS set up the joint activity CCAV, their Centre for Connected and Autonomous Vehicles. And the data transport angle of that has now begun to emerge. Specific developments in that sort of space. You probably know Meridian Mobility was established last year by government as in effect a coordination mechanism and a leadership vehicle for the CAV development within the UK. We'll hear a little bit more about that today, I think, in passing. There are a couple of briefing events coming up soon on competitions. Again, we've actually got something being said about that later on today, so I won't dwell on that. But I would say that for transport authorities, what may seem as something that is far off in the future is definitely rising in importance and in terms of opportunity as well. Transport authorities need help in understanding data. CAV, for many authorities, particularly the smaller ones, the ones that aren't in cities, maybe it seems a long way off, maybe it doesn't seem so relevant, but the learning is necessary because this stuff is happening faster than perhaps you might imagine. And there are opportunities to do that learning and to get some funding to doing some of that learning as well. So today's focus, or part of today's focus, is on CAVs, connected and autonomous vehicles, and how local authorities are doing things in that space. We've got some first-hand things happening today in terms of information from practitioners and policy influencers. Innovate UK, we've got here doing 2 presentations today. One on energy perspectives of future transport, one on the upcoming CAV competitions. We're going to be hearing from Oxford and from the West Midlands on their experience of doing things in the CAV space. Hear a bit more about the DFT Data Discovery Project. Those of you who were here at the last, well not here, but at the last Transport Data Initiative meeting will have met North Highland and contributed to their research, which they did for DFT. So we're going to be hearing some of the results of that research today. And we're also going to be having a presentation from the Transport Systems Catapult on work they have been doing on mobility platform activity for the local authorities. This afternoon we have an interactive workshop looking at shorter term issues relating to data. I think many of you from the authorities, David and the team will have been in touch with before today, seeking out your input in terms of some of the common issues that you would like to air. And that is forming the basis of the workshop this afternoon and looking at what is available today from some of the private sector.